welcome again. Today we're going to consider the third part of a series that I started for men husbands who wants to really change their marriage. I try to help marriages that are really struggling towards the end of the year, because I know I was reading online somewhere and I heard the slang that January is the divorce month. And I don't want that to be you. And for those who are in a relationship that are struggling, the reason why January happens to be the divorce month is that people who want to start the year right, they just figure that, you know what, I've had enough. I'm tired of trying to make this work. Maybe I should just put it behind me. And so in January, you will find a lot of wives saying, you know what, I want to stop this. Let this stop. Let this pain stop. And that's why January happens to be a divorce month. There's another month that has high levels of divorce also, or filing, and that would be August. So when people have been on holidays and they are wrapping up their holidays, they figure that, you know what, I enjoyed being away from this tyrant or this person that has been giving me a lot of problems, and I would like to have the peace of mind. And so August and January are not the best months for people who are already struggling in their marriage. I want to share with you 3 things that you must change. 3 things that you must change if you want your marriage to be repaired. And if you do this, you will see a transformation in your marriage very quickly. Verse 28 of Romans chapter 8 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." And we know that in all things, even in this difficult time in your marriage, where your wife is no longer talking with you, where your wife is talking about moving out, where your wife is talking about divorce, when your wife has completely ignored you, she doesn't even respond to you, God can work in this situation for the good of you, because you love him and you have been called according to his purpose. It is important that you remember that you're not struggling alone. You belong to God, and God wants to work in you and work with you. So remember that. And when you know that, then it opens your heart to learn more. Once you achieve those 3 things, and or while as you are trying to achieve those 3 things, you will be sending a signal to your wife that you are changing. And as soon as she can see that you are changing for you, not because you want her to come back into the marriage, you are golden. The moment you hear this big news that she doesn't want to stay in the marriage anymore, many people run into panic mode and try to fix the problem. And they fix it by trying to make sure that no one knows that they have the marriage is struggling, no one knows that the marriage is failing, and they're thinking about how all the good things that the wife has been doing that they're going to miss out on. And in rare cases, they recognize some of the things that the wife is not doing right and they've been complaining about, but they figure that, you know what, I could have stayed with that in the light of some of the beautiful things that I heard from her before. And so you can run into panic mode and start begging her to stay with you, and that only emphasizes the fact that you are selfish, self-centered, and all you're thinking about is yourself and not her. So you don't want to do that. And you may be very self-centered, selfish, and rude and mean, and you may have been operating in the flesh. I did a series on that, working in the spirit and working in the flesh. You need to check my videos. It will help you a lot. And so maybe you discover that, and she's right. And it's really better off for her to be away from you. And there are people like that I've met. When I listen to them and all the things that they've been saying, I can understand why the wife was saying, you know what, I don't want to be with you. And then she may feel relieved relieved, because there are some men that are very, very demanding and very controlling and never pleased, and they complain all the time, and when the wife gets a break, she feels so good. Now we want to turn that around. There are three things that you must change, you must commit to changing, to get her to know that you're really making a transformation. You're changing not for her but for you. And if she taps into your change, then she may benefit. So we want her to start to think that, you know what, if this guy is really changing for good, then I may consider going back to him. If you don't understand God's love for you, you are not going to be able to love properly. So the first thing that we're going to change is to rewrite the way you do your love. The way you do relationships must move away from that demand-based style to a love-based style. The first thing I want you to learn, and that you must learn, is to stop this demand-based relationship where you're always demanding your wife to be somehow, do something, or refrain from something for you to be happy and to be at peace. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them. So operating by love is not an option. It is your style. It is your default. Just like God is love, and as such, He loves always. We are the children of love. We can love always, which means whether she's rude, whether she's kind, whether she's unfaithful, whether she's disrespectful to you, to your parents, to your neighbors, wasteful financially, whatever the case, you continue to be kind, you continue to be nice, you continue to be yourself, your real God child self, the one who is in the image of God. You live in that nature all through, regardless of what she does. Now, I don't expect that because you've watched this video, you're just going to be able to do that. That's why you need a coach. A coach helps you to be and hit the goal that you want to hit. This is one goal that you want to hit, where you are no longer demanding love, but you're rather watching and experiencing your spouse how she is. You're saying, I'm waiting from this moment, just observe my wife, see how she is. And what I do though to help you do that, we have what we call the love experiment. 7 days of love experiment. And you should search my channel and you'll find the love experiment there. Please take advantage of it, where you learn to observe. You learn to not make any demands, no request, no complaining, no correction, no complaining. So that's what you need to do. That's the first thing that you need to learn. There are other things that you need to do to hit that goal, where you're no longer a demand-based relationship person. You are now love-based. That means you are here to give, you're here to serve, you're here to accept and care regardless of how the other person treats you. The only reason why you will not be able to do that is if they refuse to receive it. If they don't want your love, then there's nothing you can do. You can release them. But as long as they're there with you, you determine not to be based on demand. You're not demanding. Now, if you're blessed with a woman who loves you, who's responding to you, kind to you, then you're blessed, and you can still work on this. Because so some men, they discovered that they're trying their best. They thought that everything was going well. So it's not like you know that you're hurting your wife, but then suddenly she begins to say these things. And so you are at the point now that you have not been complaining, but she's been complaining, and you've not changed stuff. So you're at that point where you're saying, okay, I love you and I will continue to love you, but I don't know what you are hurt about, and I'm going to be willing to figure that out and work with you on it. If you are here and you watch this video up to this point and it has blessed you, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, share it with anyone that needs it. And I have a friendship rebuilding cheat sheet, a 1-page PDF document that you can download for free from me, so that when you look at it, it reminds you of what you need to do to rebuild friendship in your marriage. You can download that from adesobanja.com/friends, adesobanja.com/friends. It comes with a video, and of course the cheat sheet will remind you of the contents of the video at a glance.